What's going on, Detroit Lions fans? It's Monday. It's doom. It's gloom. The sun set at like 3:30, which is kind of like how my life is feeling. Just the sun setting early. Like I don't know. Well, how you feeling? I know it's not good after a Monday or after a loss on Sunday. Mondays aren't as sweet. But how are you feeling after that Vikings game?
We played the Vikings.
It's true. It's time to move on.
Yeah,
It's time to move on. Will.
yeah. Forgot about it. Like I don't even remember. Like I did. Falling asleep last night. I did hear some distant skulls. I did hear some distant, and I just threw up a little bit. But that's the last thing I remember. I didn't know if maybe it's because we played them. I don't know, Steve. I'm pressing forward. Trade deadline. I heard some players got injured. I thought it was at practice. Maybe it was at a football game. I guess I'll find out some stuff when we get into it today. That's where I'm at.
Just trying to work. Trying to work with Will sometimes and be a professional is a job in its own. If I'm being completely honest with you, it's a
You're
more.
welcome.
It's harder to work with you than it is to podcast. If I'm being honest, it's like managing a Terrell Owens diva personality.
Hey.
Sometimes it's just nearly impossible. It's same physique almost too. A lot of injuries, Will. A lot of trade rumors to get
Yeah.
into. Some player personnel. I think the hot topic of the day is we are less than 24 hours from the trade deadline. Let me ask you a question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how aggressive do the Detroit Lions need to be before tomorrow evening?
Steve, I'm not one of these believers that we've done enough. I'm not one of these believers that we're deep at most positions and we're fine and we're going to get players back and all of the things. The Philadelphia Eagles are finding ways to sign good football players, really good football players. I don't understand the Detroit Lions. I don't understand the logic behind it. I know in Brad we trust and all of the things, but we're supposedly chasing a Super Bowl. I'll come on here and I'll say it and I'll stand on it. If we don't get a player of value, listen, I'm not talking about Trey. I'm not talking about Max Crosby, Miles Garrett. That's not what I'm talking about. But I seen Mr. Phillips go today, Steve. And the Dolphins even paid part of that contract. There's negotiations out there that you can negotiate. I need something. I need a move. I need Granderson. I need something to happen. Or I'm going to be disappointed because, listen, Davenport, love the guy. No malice towards him. He has a history. His history is his history. Do I still hope that he can contribute to the Detroit Lions? I do. He wouldn't be the reason why I don't sign another guy, though. It's just, what's the worst situation? He stays healthy and you got Granderson? Let's go, Steve.
Yeah.
What am I complaining about? Marcus Davenport costs $3 for this season. Literally paying him $3. Like I seriously think Steve, you and I might be making in our real jobs more than Marcus
No,
Davenport if he don't
not
get on
even
the field.
close.
You know what I mean?
Not even
Hey,
not
listen.
even
No,
close.
I
But I
said
wish.
no. I said no. I said if he don't get on the field. If he don't get his butt on the field, there are so many incentives and little things written in that contract, Steve. If he don't play some doggone football, he's not gonna make a lot of money. So, for those reasons, I don't know. I think that we got to get another guy. Hassanin's coming in, still young, still developing. I don't think that that's necessarily the answer. Al-Quadin Muhammad is a good freaking football player, but I don't know that him on an island by himself with Hutch is the answer. I think we should get more. The Philadelphia Eagles have about three pass rushers that I think that they don't need that I would love for the Detroit Lions to have. I want them to go get Uche, and Uche is out here getting sacks and doing all types of stuff. So on top of having what they already have, they're going to get more. I'm going to be disappointed, Steve, if we don't do something of value. Not talking a top 25 player, but I am talking something more than a dollar menu. And something more than some dude that I've never heard of before that was an undrafted free agent who was on somebody's practice squad. I need more, Steve. Will you be disappointed, Steve, if Brad does not make a move of value, right? By value, I mean a good freaking football player, a solid starter in the NFL. If he does not trade for a starter for this team, are you going to be disappointed?
Disappointed's not the word, Will. Bad use of words. I'll be downright pissed if I'm honest with you. If I'm honest with you, Will, I'm gonna be not happy Steve tomorrow when we come on here about 8 o'clock at night if there's not a move of substance. I woke up today. First thing I did was open my sweet little baby blue eyes, check my phone, see what's going on in the world, check on my daughter, check on my wife. They're at work, the babysitter's house, because I had some stuff to do in the morning. Um, Jump on Twitter once it's time for Lions football to get on my mind. Jalen Phillips traded to the Miami Dolphins, third round pick. And I'm sitting there thinking, man, could we have made that trade? Oh, wait, we don't have a third round pick. We used it to trade up for Isaac Tesla, who gets, I don't know, looked at on the field when he's doing warm ups. No knock on Tesla, not his fault. John Morton, Brad Holmes, that one's on you guys. Rookies get passes with me. I've said this before. Rookies get a 1 year pass to develop, figure out football, figure out the NFL, figure out how life works in this league. Not a knock on Tesla, but I'm sitting here thinking, if Brad Holmes called the Miami Dolphins and they said, hey, it's a third or better for Jalen Phillips, that immediately takes us out because we traded it for a kid who doesn't see the football right now, doesn't hardly see the field
Yeah.
right now. That's where I'm kind of a little mad, Will, and I'm interested because I asked you what your concern level would be, and I respect it, but I'm a little intrigued that you're on the defensive side of the football, which I'm not opposed to, but I'm looking at that Christian Mahogany being out until and Christmas time. That's damn near the season. All right, let's not be cute with our words. Christian Mahogany will be lucky to be back this season, if I'm being honest. Because even when he's cleared to play, we know Dan Campbell's not going to rush him out on the football field the day he's ready to play. It's going to be another 2-3 weeks after he's ready to play. If you don't believe me, we saw it with Lee McNeil. Probably could have played against Cincinnati, waited until the Tampa Bay Buccaneers game. So I'm just calling Christian Mahogany a loss for the season. All right.
Yeah.
If we can't block, we're not going to be able to do anything successful. And I'm sorry, I just can't go to the rest of the season with Coyote Awasika playing left guard for me. Could he be good? Yeah, he could. Could he be bad? Yeah, he could. That's a 50-50 coin flip that I'm just not willing to gamble with for the rest of my year. I just can't take those chances on a 50-50 guy. And I'm not saying Coyote is the answer to all of our offensive line problems. I would like to get a guard and I would like to get a tackle. Taylor Decker is just getting put together like a transformer, Will, or they're like Frankenstein. He's just getting pieced together each week and hoping to get through the game. And it's pretty clear and obvious that this isn't a knock on Taylor, man. I said it earlier today. He's a battle axe. He's been through absolutely everything. His body is starting to break down. It's just the
Yeah.
way it is. Football. It's time. If we could somehow, some way, by the grace of God, will get a starting guard and a potential starting tackle in the trade deadline. Maybe that's too big of an ask, but I think that's where we need help. Do we need help
Yeah.
on defense? Yeah, I mean, you know me, Will. You know how I am about my pass rushers. Give me 13 of them. Give me 13 guys who can rush a passer. There's no such thing as too many. But after yesterday's game, the troubles, the ups and downs of John Morton's offense, I think offensive line is the more dire of the two needs.
Why not both?
Hey, why not? Why not? Why? Hey, if you want to go out and get three dudes, I'm with that too. A guard, a tackle, a defensive end. I'm with that too. Because why not strengthen your strength? If you know what you have on offense, why not just
Yeah.
load up on defense and make it really, really hard to score on, and hope that the offense kind of figures itself out?
Steve, even if Christian Mahogany didn't get injured, and no knock on the Detroit Lions, Brian Flores is an absolute dog. Hell of a DC. But we had some situations there. I think that I'd have been okay with bolstering that thing a little bit, especially a versatile guy. I know Evan Neal is out there, somebody a name that's getting tossed around. Versatile guy to come in and play multiple positions. Why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? Brad needs to do some things, man, to continue to make sure that we're competing for a Super Bowl. Now, I'm not going to panic. I watch all of these shows, Steve, from just ESPN and, you know, just all of the outlets. You watch them, and one week the Detroit Lions are the worst team in football. The next week they're a favorite to win the Super Bowl. The next week you're questioning if they're going to win the division. Like I'm not high and low like that. But I do feel like Brad said that he felt like we had a roster that he would expect to compete for a Super Bowl. If you're competing for a Super Bowl, you do the things to make sure you're there. Guys get banged up, you backfill it. Got to go get some people, man. There's a lot of sellers in the NFL right now. I know he's got ties with teams like the Saints. Uh, I just don't understand why you would not make moves. Came from the Miami Dolphins, has interim head coach there. You got connections. Why aren't we on that phone making some moves there? Uh, I don't know. I'm trying not to overcook the grits here, and I don't want people to think that I'm in a panic or I'm freaking out by any means. But Steve, the Philadelphia Eagles didn't they win the Super Bowl? Am I mistaken?
You weren't
Didn't
sleeping through that one.
Yeah. So didn't they go get guys like Saquon Barkley? They're making big moves. I'm not even asking for a star player. Go get some people though. It's we're at a spot in this roster where we don't need to be so draft focused. We can finally just pad this thing. We're re-signing all of our guys. Why wouldn't you want to get some veteran guys who you can hurry up and get off the books? Hey, 1 or 2 seasons, get that freaking contract off of this books so we can pay when that kick in and you're playing Hutch $1 trillion and all this big money starts kicking in. Hey, now those guys are off the books and you can start. Then I'm complimenting these guys with maybe a first round draft pick or a fourth round draft pick or a guy who's developed like Ahmed Hassani and they've had time to develop on your roster. Now those guys are stepping to the forefront and guys like Isaac, man, he's showing why we drafted him and we used that draft equity to go up and get him. All right, because now he's got a couple of years on his belt. He's a veteran and it's paying off. Go get these people, man. Like Brad, like it's time, man. Let's we're only gonna have these guys for so long before we got to start breaking this thing up. And by breaking this thing up, I'm not saying that we're gonna lose everyone, but you're not gonna keep playing Jack Campbell, Kirby Joseph, Gibbs, David Montgomery, Panay Sewell, Monroe St. Brown, J-Mo. Like when the next contracts come up, Steve, everybody's not getting paid. I hope that's not breaking news to anybody, but everybody's not getting that third contract. You got your rookie deal, you got deal 2. People are going to be banged up, taking a step back, or there's just not going to be enough money because now you're going to have rookies that are leaning towards getting that extension. The money is not just going to be flowing forever. So for those reasons, Steve, we got to figure this thing out. We got to figure it out right now and go chase some Super Bowls.
Be careful, Will. Be careful what you say and which teams you compare the Detroit Lions to, because I put out that solo today talking about Kevin Zeitler, bringing him back, how we never should have let him leave town, regardless of free agency, all that stuff that we talked about in the preseason. And I mentioned the Philadelphia Eagles, and someone's genius rebuttal to me was, well, why don't you just go be an Eagles fan? It's not what I'm saying. It's not what you're saying. The Eagles are making moves. I don't think we need to make the same caliber of moves that the Philadelphia Eagles are doing. But if I look at the trades that they've done, all of their questions have been on the offensive side of the ball. Can they pass? Is Jalen Hurts a pocket passer? Where's their run game? Did they go out and fix the offense? No, they went and traded for 3 defensive guys. They're making their strength their strength. Maybe they're saying, hey, we got plenty of time to figure this offensive stuff out. We got too many good guys on the team. Isn't that kind of the recipe the Detroit Lions are cooking with, Will? So if we go get a couple defensive guys, defense that's already playing really, really good football. Kelvin Shepard, home run so far. Johnny Morton, massive questions. I don't know. I'm not saying I want to be an Eagles fan, but I want to be able to be a team like the Eagles that wins a couple Super Bowls in 10 years. That's what I want the Detroit Lions to do. What I want to see the Lions do is not have to blitz every defensive down and be able to get pressure with 4, something the Eagles are able to do. I don't want to copy them. They just happen to be the team that's doing it and being successful. Well, I'm not going to lie to you. I sinned today. Well, I committed an act of treason today. Do you know what I did?
Watched another podcast?
No. Close. Almost. I'll give you credit. It's a close enough guess, but
you listened to the ticket, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I picked my daughter up from my mother-in-law's. We went had to go to the doctor for a little checkup today. drop my mother-in-law off, and baby falls asleep in the truck. And if there's one rule in the Perkins household, it's you don't wake a sleeping baby. Okay, so I park in my driveway for 2 hours. Will for 2 hours we were in the truck today while baby was napping. Yeah, and I was listening to the ticket, and my mind is blown at the passive aggressiveness that these two guys that are on the show from 2 to 6 were saying when they were talking about Al Qadim Muhammad. They couldn't even call him by his proper name. Will they kept calling him Bob Muhammad, and it just came off as cringy disrespect, like he's not good enough to even have his name mentioned. Well, I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with what we do here at Detroit Done 313. This is a Detroit Lions channel 365 days a year. I won't say 7 days a week, but about 6 days a week, maybe an off day here or there. This is full time. All right, we don't play around with Detroit Lions football. If you're going to disrespect a guy who is second on the team in sacks behind Aiden Hutchinson, you better learn his fucking name, because we've been demanding for the last 3 years to get Aiden Hutchinson a wingman. Maybe it's Al-Qadim / Bob Muhammad. Might want to start putting a little bit of respect on his name, because he's literally got one less sack than Aiden Hutchinson, and he didn't start the season as a starter. Will, what are we doing here? I don't understand where all this is coming from, but
are you nuts?
Love it.
I was blown away, and I'm sitting there thinking, if we can add to it, great. But I'm at the very least going to get the second leading sack guy on this team's name right. I'm going to say it with some respect, and I'm going to say it in a tone that is happy to have him on my football team, because he's playing out of his mind right now. Ride that wave, ride that high for Bob Muhammad as long as we possibly can. Now, if we can go out and get a Carl, or I almost said Curtis, a Carl Granderson, a Arden Key, or another pass rusher, I'm all for it. That's what the Eagles are doing. I'm not trying to copycat them, but it's a recipe that can work. If we can dominate on defense, our offense is good enough to where we still have plenty of time to figure this stuff out. But my mind has kind of switched. I would like an offensive lineman or two.
Offensive lineman, D lineman, corner. Just show me that you're being aggressive and you're really trying to go after the Super Bowl. I don't know. Steve, I do understand this. Brad beats to his own drum. He don't give a you-know-what about what podcasters in their basements and offices, and even the people who are on ESPN and Fox and CBS, what they're saying. He don't care. But it's going to be Brad's legacy. If Brad looks back and he had an opportunity to do some things and he chose not to because he was being the smartest guy in the room, he's going to regret it, right? I've never went to the gym, worked out, Steve, and regretted it afterwards. And what I mean by that is, I've never have I ever, man. Never. And I've regretted not getting my freaking butt up and going, but I've never regretted it after I went and I got a freaking workout in, even if I was sore or I didn't feel like going. I don't think that you will regret being aggressive. Hey, man, I was aggressive. I was trying to go get a Super Bowl. I went and got me some doggone good football players so I could try to win it. Never have to worry about what if this or what if that. So that's where it is for me, Steve. So is he going to continue to be the smartest guy in the room? Is he going to continue to be the guy that's going to say, hey, listen, I'm going to continue to force the hand of doing it with guys from in-house? If I do get a player, it'll be a solid veteran guy. It won't be some marquee name or flashy player. And I don't even need it to be a flashy player. There's a certain style of football player that we like, but there's some good football players that meet that style. And I'm not saying that we're trading for this guy, but when I think about guys like TJ Watt or even Max Crosby, like the tough, gritty guy who was going to go similar to Hutch, balls out, balls to the wall, every single football player that he's on the field, and he's going to be a guy who represents the city and tries to put the city on his back. Yeah, I mean, those are the type of guys, captains, leaders, like team guys. I get it, but there's some doggone football players that meet those descriptions, man. So I know it's not going to be some flashy guy who is about themselves. We're not trading for Micah Parsons of the world. We're not doing that. I get that, Steve, but I would hate to see the Detroit Lions look back and be like, man, I wish I would have did this or I wish I would have did that.
Well, I wasn't even prepared to ask you this question, but there's someone that's a free agent that just got medically cleared today to
Yep.
start. You know who I'm talking about?
I don't.
Medically cleared today to resume football activities, not currently on a roster. Asante Samuel, free agent, worth
Yeah.
bringing in.
Steve, I hate this. I hate to say it's almost blasphemy, but I loved his dad's game. His dad's game was nice. Now that had
Hall of
me
Famer, isn't
that
his dad a Hall of Famer? I believe too.
I do believe a gold jacket guy, but that put the son on my radar early. Like, man, he's gonna have to be a dog. Career has kind of been ups and downs, peaks and valleys. I know he's dealt with some injuries, and then he had like the spinal fusion or neck fusion or whatever
Yep.
surgery or whatever. So people were saying that he could potentially maybe be done. He's young. I don't even know exact. I know he's in his mid 20s. I don't know what the exact number is. Uh, I'm definitely taking a flyer on him. If you're gonna sign Mosley to 2 1-year deals, Steve, how do you not bring the guy in
26
the
years old.
building? Yeah, so how do you not bring the guy in the building on a 1-year deal? I would love to get him in the building on a 1-year deal if he passes the medicals, like you said. If he passed the medicals, he's clear to get in here. 1-year deal, prove it deal, get him in the building. We need corners. We need corners. Like, listen, I don't want to disrespect anybody. I don't want to piss anybody off. I know we have Nick Whiteside, and if we ever need it, all things are fine. If he needs to step in, we'll be just fine. I get it, but just as a safety net, people, let's get one more corner that can play some doggone football in the building.
This kid's a fucking stud when he's healthy. He's
Yeah.
absolutely good. And he's still young. He can still be a very, very good corner for quite a long time. Same surgery that Peyton Manning had. All right. I had the surgery too back in 2019, neck fusion surgery. It sucks. It's a recovery. I feel a million times better than I did before I had the surgery, but I know the difference is I'm not going out there and running a 4-4 and throwing my body into other people and having violent collisions every day. So I don't understand that aspect of it and how long-term effects with that side of it. Well, he's a free agent. We can pick this guy in. I'm not saying, hey, let's bring him in, give him a 6-7 year deal. Can I bring him in for the rest of the season and get a couple games out of him? Absolutely. That shores up one position of kind of need for the Detroit Lions. Now I can go get an offensive lineman. I can go get a defensive lineman, and I can call it set with only having to give up a couple draft picks. I could get 3 players here. That's all I need. I don't need Brad Holmes to do the big splashy move like you said. I need him to do a move just like he did last year for Zadarius Smith. A move just like that, similar trade, a third, fourth round pick for a solid edge rusher, and then maybe another fourth round pick for an offensive lineman. I'm more than happy. I don't need uh, any Hall of Fame offensive tackle to come here and be the tackle for the next 10 years. I just need a guy that, hey, I can set Taylor Decker down for 5-6 weeks, let him heal up, and then have a competition to see who's going to ride this thing out. Do I go with the hot hand? Do I go with the veteran? Just give us some options. I don't need
Yeah.
to be giving up multiple first rounders for a Trey Hendrickson. Just do something like you did last year, Brad, but maybe do another player as well. I need 2 pieces tomorrow, but I'm okay with one if the one makes sense to me. Don't go out and do like what you did a couple years ago with the Donovan Peoples-Jones trade. That made 0 sense to anyone. That was we probably should have spanked Brad Holmes' butt for that one a little harder than we did, but we kind of let that one go. But I can't have something like that. I at least need something that makes sense to me tomorrow before 5 p.m., I believe, 5 p.m. trade deadline. But yeah, Asante Samuel, I saw that today and I wasn't fully prepared. But when you said a corner, just clicked in my head. Why not? He's a free agent. Let's at least bring him in for a physical and see what's going on.
Yeah. No, I'm with it, man. If we can't get Sauce, I'll settle with Asante.
Well, we ain't getting sauce. I'll tell you that. What else you got for tonight? Anything?
Nah, man, just I like to hear who people want to get at the trade deadline. I want to see where their mind's at, and if maybe we get a couple of similar names, maybe we'll do some digging and put a show together on it. Because I got a handful of guys that I'm thinking about for the trade deadline. That and then I love sometimes people put in the comments, man, a guy that I wasn't thinking about that just makes sense, man. So I want to hear where people are at with it because I think that we're in the majority. Finally, we're in the majority with the thought process that something has to happen.
Yeah. Stick around, hit that like button. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.